All right, so we'll go ahead right away so we don't waste any time. So you are welcome once again to Medical Law Hub, and I'm sure we're going to enjoy ourselves. So we are discussing something really basic today so that every other person can learn. I mean, layman and other citizens can learn from today's topic before we go really technical with some subject matter on medical law. So today we are discussing something we're all aware of, which has to do with classification of healthcare institutions in Nigeria and their legal duties. And I'm going to go straight into today's matter. So we have the clinic. The clinic basically has to do with consultation and outpatients. So it does not have inpatient. That is, it's a first contact facility where people can walk in and get treatment. I'm sure Dr. Adeleke will have more to say about that. So basically, they don't have anything to do with surgeries or serious intensive care per se. We have the primary health care center, and basically what they do is they they involve themselves in health education, maternal and child health, the family planning, nutrition education, immunization. So we see them all around. So and I'm sure this will go a long way in informing people that not every hospital can cater for their needs because we have different categories of health facilities around. We have the comprehensive health care center, otherwise called medical care center. They basically perform other functions like that of primary health care center, but in addition, they have some facilities that aid the performance of surgical operations. So they usually have up to 30 beds as provided under the law, and the doctors in charge may include primary care doctors, general medical practitioners, family physicians, or even sometimes they do have surgeons and obstetricians. But there are no departmental boundaries, so they work hand in hand. They actually do take emergency treatment as well, unlike clinics that do not have such capacity. So the next category is the secondary healthcare centers, otherwise called general hospitals in Nigeria. they, they are institutions that have full complement of curative care. Such an institution would have an accident and emergency unit, a diagnosis unit, they have outpatient consultation as well, and they have wards divided into surgical ward, medical ward, pediatric ward, antenatal, labor ward, and postnatal ward. So they can take any kind of patients. They can do all kinds of surgery, unlike the clinics that cannot afford to accommodate inpatients. These ones can take inpatient because they have the wards, they have the emergency units, and they have the specialists in charge of those units as well. So this should be a minimum of, there should be at least minimum of three doctors, all of whom should ideally be experienced in general practice and specialized areas of medical practice as well. So basically they can take in any kind of patient because they have the capacity, unlike the primary health care and the clinic. And these basically are the provisions of in our laws. So they are not something that should be strange to Nigerians as a whole. So I believe this would help a lot in educating a lot of Nigerians to know where to go when they have some situations and not assume that all health facility can take care of all kind of treatment. So going ahead, we have the tertiary health care center. otherwise known as specialist hospital. And we need to note that hospital is not a specialist hospital simply because it is owned by a registered specialist in an area of medicine or dentistry. A specialist hospital is an institution featuring the following major components. They have the accident and emergency units, they have the diagnostic unit, they have the outpatient consultation unit, they have the ward unit, and they have treatment unit. So basically, with the major difference that all the facilities of the institution are devoted to the practice of one or more specific disciplines of medicine, e.g., pediatrics, orthopedics, psychiatry, dentistry, and so on and so forth. And the last but not the least is the teaching hospitals. Teaching hospital has the fully developed and accredited institution for teaching, as name connotes, and is usually organized along this departmental lines so that there is no combination of the following departments. We have the anesthesiology, the dental surgery, we have the general medical practice, otherwise known as family medicine. We have the internal medicine. So it's a full package, and which is why they have the most sophisticated equipment or facility, health facility. So they can handle all kind of cases. They have the emergency units, just like every other um, secondary healthcare center. So we must note that not all hospital facilities or not health facilities can take care of all health issues as provided under our law. Each department may have any number of consultant units or firms, each with its own outpatient consultation sessions, ward units, theater sessions where appropriate, and so on. Ordinarily, patients are not expected to come primarily to the clinics of a teaching hospital, which is intended to be a referral hospital, but they would usually be referred from a lower order institution like the clinic and the primary health center, who are basically meant for outpatient treatment. The only exception being the cases that come through the casualty and accident and emergency. That is, such institutions are not meant to treat illness because there are other facilities for such purposes. Like I earlier mentioned, the clinic, we have the primary health care. So those ones are primarily and basically meant for such purposes. It is when we have complicated situations and serious cases that teaching hospitals are expected to come in and ensure that treatment is given to such persons. So we have to note that the teaching hospital is the most sophisticated form of hospital institution in Nigeria. So from this, there are a lot of legal and ethical implications of hospital structures and classification, which I'm sure the experts on board have their own professional opinions on. So it is important to note that the health service organizations as limited liabilities. It's because basically in Nigeria, we can identify hospitals as companies. So when they are being registered as such, the health practitioners, the medical practitioners are advised to consider seriously the dangers inherent in establishment of clinics and hospitals as street business enterprises or limited liability companies, bearing in mind the street ethical code of conduct as provided under the code of conduct for medical practitioners in Nigeria. Um, Also, there is need to consider the following issues that I would not want to waste time with, so that the experts on board can also make their professional opinions on these issues and submissions. So we have other issues as the issue of advertisement. Medical doctors in Nigeria are now allowed to advertise uh, in any way as provided in the Code of Medical Ethics. It is wrong for any medical doctor to advertise, and it is regarded as professional misconduct where such is done. Then another issue is the area of emergency treatment. Emergency treatment cannot be given by all health centers or health establishments because some don't have the facility to provide such treatment. For example, clinics are not expected to give emergency treatment as such because they don't have the facility or the expertise to do such. Also, we have available expertise and specialists must also put into consideration because even the secondary health centers, that is medical centers, um, don't have might not have the required number of doctors to always provide expertise or specialized treatment or surgeries. So it is always important to note these things to know exactly where to go to get such treatment. Also, the duty to stabilize. It is important to note that even though the clinics and the primary health care centers don't have the specialists or the facility to provide emergency treatment, they still have the obligation under the law to stabilize patients that are brought in a critical situation, and then they also have the duty to refer such patients to appropriate facility and not leave such patients to bleed out or to die. Also, role of doctors and other health workers must be considered in these areas because where they don't have the required expertise, they must not fill in the gap and assume they have the right skill. So doctors and other health workers must be careful in engaging in illegal procedures once they are because it becomes illegal and they are regarded as quacks once they go ahead with surgeries or treatments that they are not certified to carry out, except of course in emergency situation to save the life of the patient. Also, the National Health Act provides for certificate or standard that every health facility must meet up to in Nigeria before giving the permission to carry out their functions or to start work. And also the duty to treat and available facilities. The duty to treat it can be connected with the duty to stabilize in emergency situations. So even though clinics and primary health centers don't have the capacity or the facility to give emergency treatment, they are duty bound under the law to ensure that they treat, they stabilize, and then refer so that the patients or the, people don't die in their custody or or to ensure that lives are saved. And of course, the issue of available facilities. People must understand that not all health facilities can provide for all their can provide all treatment for all illnesses. So they must ensure that they go to the right healthcare centers to get the right treatment. I think from this, I must give open the line so that I can hear from other experts. I hope you are here with me. Hello.
Yeah, very well.
Okay.
Yeah, very well.
So I intentionally had to rush
Yeah.
that so that I can hear from your professional views as well. And of course, if
Yeah, yeah.
um, you can go ahead. So, Barrister Samson,
Yes.
yeah,
Can you hear me?
yes, I'm with you.
Yeah, very well. Let me just quickly comment on the aspect of advertisement under the legal
We can't see
implication
your face.
as we. Okay, my face.
Okay. Or you want to go ahead like
You
that?
can see my face. Let me go ahead like that,
Okay. Okay.
because I'm finding it difficult to project myself on the screen here. But let me just go straight to the point. Oh
Okay.
Jesus. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead. I will just preview my
Yeah.
previous presentation while you go ahead. Please go ahead.
All right. I just want to make comments on the aspect of advertisement as to whether or not it is outrightly forbidden for medical practitioners
Okay.
to advertise their institution. Now, the provision of the law as regarding to advertisement in respect to medical practitioner is that they cannot advertise. However, there are exceptions as to the extent that there's a particular provision for the extent of their advertisement. And this is how it is. Advertisement or canvassing by medical doctor is not outrightly forbidden. However, they must be guided by necessary rules of professional conduct in respect to their ethical attitude as an accredited doctors. What I'm trying to say is that they can actually advertise, but in accordance with the provisions of the law regulating their ethics. This is how it is. Now, a medical doctor, for example, an hospital, can have a signboard telling people about their services. However, such signboard must not be placed by the roadside. It can be placed inside their hospital. But where the hospital is difficult to locate, the law allows them to place it in a strategic place that will direct people to the hospital, but not that they will have a very big signboard with a very colorful attraction and details of what they do there. So that is that on the issue of signboard when it comes to advertisement. Also, advertisement can be allowed on radio as per introduction. Now, if you go on a radio station and you are introducing yourself as a medical doctor, the person introducing you up, peradventure you are the one introducing yourself, you are allowed to at least mention what you are dealing with. This is to the effect that so that people who are listening to you can have confidence in you and can have a repute as to what you are capable of capable of doing in respect to what you have come on here to say. So as to that, you are allowed to give a brief introduction of yourself. However, it should not be projecting.
Okay.
And also the third one is testimony. Testimonial. People can give testimony about what you do, and that will not be actually taken as a form of advertisement. In conclusion, what I'm trying to say in essence is that you are allowed to advertise in, but such advertisement must be in accordance with the rules of professional conduct, guiding medical experts, guiding medical practitioner, guiding health professional people. So that is just the basis about advertisement, and that is what I want to comment on, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, Barrister.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Barrister Adibola Araba. Hello, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. Do you have any professional comments to make on the issue?
Oh, no, I do not have any comment.
All right.
Thank
Um, Miss Talabi. Hello, Miss Peace. Okay, I would like to add something as well on the issue of advertisement. Just like you said, they have to do it within the scope of law, that is what the law permits, and what one of which is that where it has to do with new innovations or um, new discovery in how to treat patients, they are allowed to inform the public or the immediate environment about the availability of such treatment or the availability of such skill. For example, the issue of COVID-19 treatment, a couple of hospitals, some hospitals have engaged in informing the public of the availability of such facility to treat COVID-19 patients in Nigeria, and that is within the purview of the law. Or and I think that that's very true of it. I think other experts are having issues connecting to this meeting, and I don't know whether you have anything to say on the roles of doctors and other workers. Pastor Samson,
Yeah.
I don't know whether you have
No,
anything
no, nothing.
on the role of doctors, because really everything boils down, because doctors are more or less seen as the judge or judges inside the hospitals, because they give the final say. So, for example, there might be scenarios, or for example, if anything goes wrong, as we've seen in many occasions, whereby patients are rushed into the emergency treatment unit or rushed into hospitals, and something goes wrong. Doctors are usually the ones held responsible.
I'm fine.
Hello,
I say I'm finding it difficult to comprehend what you are saying. The network is breaking.
I can't hear you.
I said the network is breaking. I find it difficult to
Difficult.
understand to comprehend what you are saying.
Okay, okay. I said, for example, in most cases where there are issues, when there are issues with the hospital, for example, if patients are brought into the um, clinics or emergency unit of the hospital, the doctors are always the one held responsible for not treating the patients, and we've seen that in recent times. So I think doctors have more roles to play in ensuring that the right things are done in hospital situations. I hope you can hear me now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to believe you are talking about the issue of emergency. Let's take, for
Yes,
example,
yes, the
where
role of
someone is
doctors.
shot. Yes, when somebody is mistakenly shot by an armed robber, and initially, according to the position that you must present a doctor report before you are treated when it comes to such issues, I very much believe that over time, recently particularly, I think that has been waived. That you don't really need a doctor's report before such emergency can actually be attended to. That is, if someone is actually shot or has a serious accident, the life comes first before any attention. So doctors, I'm very much aware that most of them are aware of these recent provisions that
Development, compulsory
patients
treatment
should,
of such
yes,
victims.
patients should be treated first before issue of reports and other things comes to place. So
All right, so
that's the reason.
I think on this end, we must say we've started, and would constantly have this kind of discussion and meetings on medical legal issues. So thank you very much for your time, and for creating this kind of atmosphere for us to have such discussion. So I hope to see you
Yeah,
next
welcome.
month, and I hope to see your work on this subject matter as well, for people
All right.
to learn from. So thank you very much, and I appreciate it. Uh,
Yeah.
all right. Do have a
Yeah,
wonderful week
it's our
ahead.
pleasure.
Yeah.
All right. Bye bye.